From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into Ignite Success with Bill Prescott here on The Horse's Mouth on Buzz TV, of course, at my bar, at Tommy Max, and brought to our good friends at the Heritage Capital Group and at Farther. Both those companies are represented this time around because Bill is here and Nelson Bradshaw is here from Farther, and we've got a great new company, the Holliday and Associates Group. Let's welcome in the panel. Bill Prescott is here. Hey, Bill, welcome back. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
What's the latest at Heritage, man? Buying, selling, merging, what are we doing?
All those things going on.
All the above?
Despite inflation and interest rates, things are still happening in the economy, and so we're busy.
How's, I know debt keeps going up, right? Prime's at 8.5. That's got to affect some things in your line of work.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. It impacted valuations, debt covenants for companies, working around those. But hopefully we're at the top end of the interest rates, and hopefully things will start to slow down a little bit, and hopefully it's not a big recession that causes it.
That's great. Well, great to have you on the show. As always, Lica Patterson is here from Holliday and Associates, and John Holliday is here. Hey, John, how are you? Lisa, welcome.
Great.
How y'all doing?
Good. Good.
All right. Tell us about Holliday and Associates.
We're all
please.
about information governance, and that really basically affects everything.
Okay.
You can't really govern information unless you have a governor, so there's a whole structure around that.
Okay.
And we help companies develop their policies and programs and procedures around managing information.
Okay, now this is a new venture, but this is your background the past 30 years. This is what you've been doing.
That's right.
Wow.
I have a background in law and computer science and also AI. So I've got an opportunity now to bring it all together.
Very nice. Comes together nicely, all three of those.
We hope
it?
so.
Comes in handy. And Lisa, you're the COO of the company?
Yep.
What's your What's your duties? What's your day-to-day?
So day-to-day now, it's all about partnerships and leveraging the relationships that we have, setting the stage for this technology that we're leveraging because we know it's something that could really help, some of our friends and colleagues and clients. So a lot of relationship building, a lot of preparation right now, and strategy and
laying the groundwork.
Laying the groundwork.
We're like farmers. We're planting seeds, right? Entrepreneurs. That's what we do all day long.
Still in the ground too. We have technology also that we're bringing to bear.
Yeah.
Really?
That's kind of unique, and we're excited about.
That is great. That is great. Great to have you guys. Nelson Bradshaw's back from Farther. Hey, Nelson.
Great.
What do you think about the new venture with Mr. Holliday?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest things that you've heard the last few years are the big leaks of data and folks' information out there. And so it's a real liability to almost all entities that deal with harboring data of other people's information. Right. So it's becoming a bigger field with a lot of consequences if you don't do it right.
Is it a never-ending fight for the most part? I mean, someone's going to come up with something new to steal your data, or someone's going to do something?
Oh, it's much bigger than just security, and that's a really big part of it. A lot of attention on that now. But back to that first point, you need a governor. You need to actually govern your data. It's an active process. It's not static. A lot of companies fall into a trap of thinking that it's going to be the technology that saves us. But it's technology plus attention and governance, and so that's a really big piece of it. And people and companies are really just now starting to understand how broad that is.
And John, your background, you said 30 years in. How did you get started? Are you military? Did you get learning from the military? How did you get involved in
Actually, I was fortunate to have a mentor in law school who was really deep into information technology. Okay. Back when it was before, right before it really took off. Yep. And so I was involved in a lot of, I guess you'd call them advanced experimentation around bringing technology into the practice of law. Yeah. And that really set the stage for my career development.
Okay, I'm just a bartender, but I got to imagine the governance of AI has got to be pretty overwhelming.
Absolutely.
I would imagine, right? And it's only going to continue to.
We can't even imagine how far it's going to go. Yeah, but right now we're looking at how do you determine what your risk is? Yep. And how are you going to apply the technology? Yep. And so companies and individuals even need help in understanding what that impacts.
Bill, this is really important, isn't it, for your company?
It is. It's interesting. You watch the evolution. You think of when you look at companies, okay, it's just about their financials and what they're doing. Yeah. But, we've seen it in, your board's governance at the board level and everything else. And, this is probably the next frontier in terms of how do you govern your information, protect it, manage it, and everything else.
Is it to keep a sustainable business, right? You got to have it.
There's no way to avoid it.
Right.
And the problem is that it's been really subjective up until now.
Okay.
So our approach, which we think is unique, is that we're trying to codify and create sort of a quantifiable assessment of where you are today in terms of all the different aspects of your information governance program.
Okay.
And we think that's critical to ongoing success. Without that, you're sort of, it's sort of, you got blinders on, you're trying to do things, but there's so many dimensions to it that it needs to be much more structured and much more quantified.
Lisa, he's very even keeled.
Yeah.
Just wealth of knowledge and just calm and
That's
collected and confident. That's awesome. What do you like most about the job and what you're doing?
I like the excitement. I would say the excitement in terms of how people don't recognize the importance of information. And it doesn't matter the size of your company, small, medium, or large. It's not a matter of if, it's when, you possibly be faced with some scenario where you need to, as John mentioned, understand how you actually created that data. How was it identified? How was it tracked? How can you defensively delete it should that come up in a scenario? So I like the excitement around it because everyone has data and information, but we don't think of it in terms of
it's gonna make people learn it, like figure it out. You're gonna have to. Without a doubt.
You don't think about it until something goes wrong.
Right.
That's the way.
Until it's too late, right?
So that's where the attorney side of what he does comes into play is, hey, we're trying to safeguard you from, when it happens and how you're going to get sued. But if you've done these certain things, you can at least mitigate it, even if it does happen. You've showed you did due diligence.
That's it. I like to think of information governance. It's multi-dimensional.
Okay.
It's multimodal, because we've got many different types of content to manage. And it's multi-level, because your maturity level really determines what you can really realistically achieve if you implement an information governance program. So we start every engagement with an assessment. And that assessment yields a quantifiable model that we can come back to track your progress. Because it's an iterative process. It's not just a one-time thing.
No, right. That's great. Well, best of luck with that, John.
I appreciate that.
I love entrepreneurs, man. It's great to have you on the show, and all the best. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate that. Hey, check out their great profiles, this conversation, and many others just by visiting iwantabuzz.com. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. And we'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
The team at Heritage Capital Group is special because it's a collection of people across the spectrum.
We have people who have been in the shoes of owners that are looking to buy and sell, and professionals that have executed transactions helping buy and sell companies for decades.
I think when you talk to us, see what our experience is, see what our skills are, see the reach that we have, you'll be very happy with the recommendation.